My regular Saturday caddies was Dr. James Prophet. James Prophet was a surgeon. He did my right knee. He took the cartilage out of my right knee when I was 19. But anyway, he was one of my heroes. I wanted to be a doctor.
So what happened?
So I went to Maryville College as a pre-med major.
Yeah.
I got to organic chemistry.
Oh, that's right.
And my professor came to me and said, "Mr. Long, I don't think you're a pre-med major," because I was flunking. Oh God, I hated it. Anyway, I found the call of the liberal arts, and I became a poli-sci major, and graduated in poli-sci. Went to University of Tennessee in pre-law.
I could have seen that.
Yep. I'm a bullshit artist. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
So
And a good joke teller.
yeah. So I got 27 hours of pre-law, and finally it hit me. You can't do this, Stanford. You can't do this. You can't defend somebody that you know is guilty.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. So I became a teacher, and then I met a young lady whose father owned a textile mill. So I went into business with him and spent 32 years as a textile executive.
But you did teach American history.
I did for 5 years.
Wow.
Yep.
Amazing. That's how you know so much.
Yeah, I'm drawn to it. I don't know. I gravitate toward any book. Bruce Caton. I love Bruce Caton's books. Anything to do with history. Yeah. Yep. I'm an expert on Abraham Lincoln's assassination. I could go on for hours about that. There were 7 people connected with this assassination that went insane.
What do you mean? How were they
Afterwards.
connected and how?
Afterwards, after the assassination, they went insane. One example, Boston Corbett. Boston Corbett was the guy who shot John Wilkes Booth in the barn after he escaped.
Okay.
He was a hero. He was from Kansas, and he went back to Kansas after the assassination. They made him the sergeant at arms of the Kansas legislature. He brought a gun into the Senate of the state of Kansas and shot 7 people. And then he was shot. So that's just one example.
Wow.
Mary Surratt. Mary Surratt was never, she was convicted of being conspirator in Lincoln's assassination, and she had no connection with it. She owned the boarding house where the guys met that cooked up the assassination.
But she didn't know. Very interesting.
Her son was involved. And here's a strange one. He left the country, went to Europe, had a lecture circuit, became independently wealthy over this, came back to the United States, and never served a day in prison. Strange thing.
Mary Todd Lincoln.
She went
Have real
crazy.
problems,
She
too.
went crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. She went insane.
Did you see the movie a few years
Yes.
back? Lincoln? Wasn't that? That
Oh, it was
so well,
fascinating.
That was so well done.
Mm.
That was so well done.
Yeah. You know who played Mary Surratt in that? The same woman that played in Forrest Gump. His girlfriend. I can't remember her name, but his girlfriend in Forrest Gump played Mary Surratt in that movie.
Wow.
So there were a whole bunch of people involved. I thought that John
Oh,
Wilkes Booth
yeah.
was just a nut and he just
Oh,
decided he
no,
was
no,
going to
no,
do it.
no. There was not hundreds, but there were a lot of people.
Why did they do that?
They, the pride over being Southerners, being losing the war.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
They blamed Abraham Lincoln. He was the savior. He should have been on a pedestal someplace. But
Hmm.
Yeah, well, the Southerners lost their whole way of life.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
they did. That's true. But it was an awful way of life. I mean,
Yeah, that.
they subjugated people to slavery.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
It was awful.
You think it's a preconceived? Was that ill-gotten way of life destined to collapse at some point
Oh, yeah.
in an unpleasant way?
Oh yeah,
Okay, it was only a
it
matter of
was on its
how.
way. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
It was awful. You can't keep people under that type of situation and not get the totality of it. It's awful.
Hmm.